Well, Rick, I would love for us to pick up on that last question you asked me about, can buyers walk away from a purchase? It is very difficult for a buyer to walk away from a purchase. If the builder offers them their money back, they can go. But if they walk away from a purchase, they lose their deposit. The builder sells it to the next person all over again. So you cannot walk away from a purchase. It's a valid contract, whether that's a resale or a builder. And contract is contract, it's law. Don't do it.
It's law unless it's the builder that wants more money.
So if the builder wants more money because he cannot build, then if he doesn't get the money, he defaults anyway. Then you
Right.
lose the deposit as well. So it's the lesser of two evils that you contend with. But as if that is not enough of a controversial issue, and we can't even cover it because the law is still trying to figure out what to do. And they've been trying, particularly the last year and a half, to figure out what kind of legislation to bring in place. It's certainly, I don't know how fast a process it's going to be, because you can't, if the money's not there, it's not there. And if the increase in the cost of doing business is there, someone's got to pay. It always comes down to us, the lowly buyer. All right. So here's something though, and I personally have not run into this, but I really need you to address this.
Okay.
What happens? You started the question, I interrupted you, so now I'm going to finish that one. What happens if I bought a house a year ago from a builder and is taking 2 years to construct the home?
Mm-hmm.
They're in the middle of it now. The builder has run into hoops. He's run into problems. He's got he's sucked up that cost of doing business, the extra labor cost, the extra material cost. He's worked through it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the lucky builders that work through it. And he's gotten to the other end, and he's ready now for you to take occupancy of your home.
Okay.
Now, I know there are different processes to the pre-approval for a pre-construction that I want you to address, but I really would love you to address this one. And I haven't run across it before. I don't think anyone has in the market. I don't know if you've had a client that's run across it yet, but it's a question I'm hoping you have thought about. If not, then today's your lucky day. What happens if me as the buyer, my house is ready to close, I've gone through the process of getting the pre-approval, I've done all of my documents, I'm ready to close the purchase agreement on my pre-construction home that I bought 2 years ago. Now, I'm assuming, and in this case, I know I've heard of it happening, the lender sends out their appraiser to look at the home as a part of finalizing the mortgage before releasing the funds.
Sure.
And the appraiser comes back with a report that is short on market value based on when they bought. Can you tell
That's a real problem.
I want you to tell us what we can do, and what have you experienced it? This is a hot topic.
It's no different if it's a new house versus a resale house. If the appraisal comes back short, then you're going to have to make up the difference out of pocket. The lender will not lend on the house above the appraised value. So you might have some recourse in that if you had a bigger down payment or something like that, the lender, if the house is worth less than $1 million, then you can do a high ratio mortgage, where before maybe you're doing a conventional mortgage. This of course assumes that you still qualify, because that's a problem a lot of other people are running into, is they're going to close and it's like, well, they qualified when rates were 2%, and rates are not 2% anymore. So a lot of people can't even qualify for the mortgage at this point.
So the mortgage they were initially pre-approved for, they may not qualify for now.
Yeah, the rate hold for a mortgage or the pre-approval is usually good for 4 months. Like you have to close within 4 months. So if you're looking at 2 years out, the builder will usually require a pre-approval before they will
sign an agreement.
When they take your deposit, your initial deposit, they usually say, okay, now you need a pre-approval in the next 30 days or whatever.
That's correct.
So we're just going to sell it to someone else.
Yeah.
But that pre-approval, that'll be long expired by the time it's built, if it's like a 2-year process.
Right.
So pre-approvals also say, your circumstance has to remain the same. Like you can't
I'm
have,
just going to say that.
your credit can't be terrible now.
You must have the same job still.
You still have to be working in a job with, guaranteed hours and all that sort of thing,
Yeah.
or at least be doing like a 2-year average of your income, things like that.
Yes.
And you have to qualify based on current government rules, not the rules. Like sometimes they might grandfather something when they make a change, if you have, a signed and dated purchase agreement. But yes, you're going to have to qualify based on the interest rate.
So I
Uh,
better not go out in those 2 years either, even with all of that, even if I could still do it, I better not go out and buy a new car and take on a $800 a month car payment.
well, I mean, yeah, that would definitely disqualify you
That
if,
happens a lot, doesn't it? I run across that a
yeah,
lot.
well, I mean, I tell all my clients, do not,